Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sammy Ketchum, and welcome back to Sammy Ketchum TCG. Today, we are going to be taking a look at the Vivid Voltage set. That's right, the sought after Vivid Voltage set. We're going to be talking about some of the, most of my main favorite cards from the set. All right, I'm not going to go over the whole set per se, but I'm going to be talking about most of the key cards from the set that are going to be very good in the upcoming format for the TCG. All right, so we're going to take a look at that today. And the one card that we're going to start off with, the one card that's going to start it off for us, is we have to talk about this card. I mean, this card wouldn't be Vivid Voltage without it. We are going to be talking about, all right, Big Pikachu Vmax. All right, Pikachu Vmax, all right? I've got a proxy right here. It's in Japanese, but you can tell it's Pikachu Vmax. All right. All right, 310 HP. All right, it has one attack for triple lightning. All right, it's gonna do 120 damage. All right, and what this card does is that you could discard all of the energy to it. Discard all the energy to it, and it does 150 more damage. 150 more damage. Which is, I think, for 270, I think it's going to be really, really good. I think it's really, really good. I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people have written this card off. They have written this card off. They say it's not good. They say it is not good. Because, oh, you discard 3 energies from it, it's bad. For 270, it's bad. You know, they say you could hit 270 for better damage or quicker damage or whatever. They say this is bad. They say this is a bad version of like, what's that card? Grimmsnarl or whatever. They say this is bad. Why? Why are they calling this card bad? And I say it's good. You want me to tell you why this is good? It's because you have so much energy acceleration right now with electric type Pokemon and electric type decks. All right. Namely, probably one of the best cards in the set to pair it with is Electrode. All right. This card is actually good. A lot of people like this card, Electrode. All right. This card has the ability to knock itself out. And if you knock him out, of course, your opponent takes a prize. You search your deck for 2 lightning energies and attach them to any of your Pokemon in any way you like. So you can knock this out and power this thing up. Okay? That's one. If you knock out 2 of these, you can power up 2 of these or power up this and one of your other Pokemon. Alright? So that's one way. Then you've got Tapu Koko Prism Star that can also power up the bench or maybe power this up on the bench. You know, you've got attacks like Bolton V that can power this thing up. You've got attacks like Pikarom that can power up if you choose to play with Pikarom. You also have, where did I put that card? The Pikachu V, with the first attack being able to power itself up for 2 energies. If you have this evolve and have like the new memory capsule, from the set that basically allows you to use the basic form of the attack. You can use Pikachu V's attack on the VMAX and charge him up. if you'd like. I mean, just many ways you could get this powered up. All right. Another reason why I say this is good is because once this gets knocked out early before your opponent takes prizes. You knock this out early, 1 or 2 of them. Guess what? You can reset stamp your opponent. You sit there, do this. Reset stamp your opponent, and not only can you reset stamp, but you can also play Lieutenant Surge. You can also play Lieutenant Surge. Hence the music, Lieutenant Surge. Alright? You play Lieutenant Surge's strategy. And now, not only do you get 2 energies from your deck to power up this thing, but now you can play 2 supporters in 1 turn. So you sit there and play something like, you go Lieutenant Surge, then you play like a Leon, which buffed this up even more. So now it's not just 270, now it's 300 damage. Alright? And then you play another supporter on top of that. Maybe like a draw card. Something that'll help you draw more cards. Or you play, well, I mean, you don't play a Marnie or something like that. Or something that will help you along in your game. But Lieutenant Surge, Leon, and something else, you know, to get you set up throughout the game, I think is devastating. Or you could go Lieutenant Surge, Leon, and Yell Grunt. Okay, discard an energy from your Pokemon, not discard, but send the energy back to their hand. Now you set them back even further, and then you hit them for 300 damage. You've got Zigzagoon. You can play this with Zigzagoon. Zigzagoon pings. Now it's 310. You put a Vitality Band on this. Now it's 320. Now you're hitting Vmax territory. All right. Like this card paired with this gives us so much potential you could play around with. I think you have something here, but people don't see it. People don't see it. They've written this off. Go ahead, write it off. I think this is very good. I think you have something here. You know, I really think you have something here. But yeah, 270 I think is decent. 300 with Leon. Okay, you could power this up. I think this is very capable of playing around with. Another good card you could pair with electric decks is the Zapdos from Vivid Voltage. Alright? Basically note the second attack. The second attack for lightning colorless. Alright? You could do 160 damage to one of your Pokemon's V and GX Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? So you can sit there and one-shot a Dedenne on the bench. Now, that's where this card comes into play. This is a new item card where let's see if I can find it on here. Alright. See if I can find it really quick. See if I can get the name of it. Oh yeah, telescopic sight. Telescopic sight. Alright? What this does is you attach this to one of your Pokemon, and if you're doing damage to the bench, you do 30 more damage. So if this is damaging the bench, then so not only are you doing 160, you're doing 190 to the bench. 190. So let's say you softened them up early. Maybe you just did 120. And then maybe you softened them up for a Zapdos. And now you're doing 190 damage to it with this. Or let's just say you did 270 and discarded all the energies, okay? Let's just say you did 270. But now, later on, your next turn, you soften them up with the Zapdos for 190. You know? This could also be good as a 1-of or 2-of in Pikachu. Alright? Let's say you soften them up for 150, 160. 150 Pikachu, 160 Raichu. You sit there and do 160 to a Dedenne or 190 to a Pokemon on the bench. Alright? So, you know, this is really, really decent in electric decks. You know, so... Alright, let's go into a little bit of fire. We're going to talk about Talonflame V. Alright. Talonflame V basically is going to be used for its first attack. This first attack can be used if you're going first. Alright? So basically, if you're going first, your first turn, the first turn, can be used the very first turn. Alright, let's see if I can find it on here. I am actually looking on Pokebeach.com to look up the translations of these cards. If you want to go and find a translation of these cards, Pokebeach is a great site that you could go to and look up these translations. Alright, Talonflame V, the first attack, Fast Flight. If you go first, you can use this attack on your first turn. Discard your hand and draw 6 cards. Alright, so let's say after you set up, after you use your ball searches, your quick balls, you get out your bench and everything, and now you have this. So, or you switch into this. Then you go, okay, I have a small hand now after I've just kind of set up my bench a little bit. Now I'll discard and draw 6, and now I'm kind of set up my hand for the next turn. This is really good going first. I think this is a great card. The second attack is not too shabby either. Crimson Wings. It does 160 damage for 2 fires and a colorless. 160. Discard an energy from this Pokemon. It's not, I mean, but you're really not going to use that. You want to use the first attack to go first. You know what I'm saying? That's the bread and butter of this card. So, you know, this has potential, and I like it. Another fire card we could talk about is the Charizard from the set. Alright? Alright? The Charizard. It has an ability called Battle Sense. Once during your turn, you may look at 3 cards at your top of your deck. Put one of them into your hand, and then discard the other cards. Now, there's ways you can manipulate the top cards of your deck. You can play this with Oranguru, and the Oranguru that lets you put a card on top of your deck, and switch it with 1. All right. So now you can basically pick a card that you put on top, put it back into your hand, or find something else there, or put a card on top of your deck that you want to discard. That way you look at the other 2 and, okay, now I discard this card because I managed the top of my deck, discard it, look at one of the other 2, choose one of the other 2, put it in my hand. So that's a thing. Alright. The attack is called King's Blaze. Alright. This attack does 50 more damage for each Leon in your discard pile. Alright. So Leon. Alright. So now Leon is a card that says when you play it, your Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage for the turn. Alright? So you play this and you play this. You get 4 of these in your discard pile. This thing is doing 300 damage. 300 damage. Now, if you happen to play Leon, your last Leon, on the turn that you play this, you're doing 330 damage. Okay? So, you get 4 of these in your discard pile, 300 damage. Play this on the turn that you start attacking with this, 330. That's Vmax levels. Alright? A combo that you could play with this is that you could go Misty's Favor, maybe the turn before. You know, get 3 Leons in your hand. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Get 3 Leons in your hand. And then the next turn or something, play something like a Dedenne. Discard your hand. Discard all 3 Leons from your hand. Draw 6 cards. Okay. And then you play your last Leon. Alright, you play your last Leon or something. You already got 2 energies on this thing. And then you hit with this thing. You know what I'm saying? So there's ways you could get the 4 in your discard pile. You know what I'm saying? So this is workable. You know, now it is a stage 2. It's harder to get out. You know, but I think this is doable. This is a very, very good, solid choice. Also, this card is actually expensive. The holo versions of this card is expensive. The pre-release versions of this card is expensive for no apparent reason. Because it's a freaking Charizard. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what this card is going for. But other than that, it's decent at best. Let's talk a little bit about fighting. Not fighting. We're going to some grass. All right. Orbital Vmax. Not Orbit. Oh my God. Did I say? Oh my God. I said Orbital and I'm holding up Colossal. Okay, my bad. Fighting. Okay, since we have Colossal up, we'll talk about fighting. Oh my God. I'm terrible. I'm so terrible. Okay, we're going to fight it. We'll talk about Colossal. Alright. Basically, the arch nemesis of this Pikachu Vmax here, because it preys on its weakness. Alright. Colossal Vmax is actually one of the best cards in the set. It has a whopping 330 HP. Its first attack, Eruption Blast. It does 40 plus damage. Alright? You discard the top card of your deck. If that card is an energy, this attack does 90 more damage. Then attach that energy to this Pokemon. So you have energy acceleration in its first attack, which is very good. 90 more damage. You can one-shot a Pikachu with this. I think you even one-shot this with that. You know, so you basically prey on weakness with this attack. Also, I mean, energy acceleration itself is great. You know, I just think this is great. The first Eruption Blast. And the next attack is Gmax Vulcan Wrath, 240 damage. Alright. 240 damage, which isn't bad. If you pair this up with the Oranguru, alright, the Oranguru that lets you switch a card in your hand for one on the top of your deck. You put an energy card, a fighting energy card on top of your deck. Then you use the first attack to put an energy, you know what I'm saying, attached to this guy. Alright. Now, if you play the Bay card, I think it's called Bay or B, that's in the Vivid Voltage set, the Fighting V. Alright. It says discard the top 5 cards of your deck and attach as many energies as you can find to your fighting Pokemon, I think. Whatever. So, you can manipulate the top card with the Rangaroo, put an energy on top, then use the Bay. Alright. So you've got a confirmed energy on top. Then you use the Bay, attach the energy. Now you've got the energy, attach energy for the turn. Now you've got your 4 energy because you used Eruption Blast last turn. Now you got 4 energies. Now you can do 240. It's not terrible. I think the deck is still kind of slow, but it's doable. You're hitting for weakness. Alright. You've got the Stone Fighting Energy. Alright. This goes with fighting Pokemon. Stone Fighting Energy. It provides a fighting energy type for fighting Pokemon when it's attached to fighting Pokemon. Anything else is like a colorless energy. Alright? This basically, any attack that basically goes up against fighting Pokemon is reduced by 20 damage. So they're doing 20 less damage because of this card. So if they're trying to hit for 330, now they're doing 310. Okay? So minus 20 damage to whatever is attacking a fighting Pokemon. Very, very good. Makes fighting Pokemon more tanky. Alright. Okay. Now, here is the Orbital Vmax. This is probably one of the new promising grass Pokemon from the set. Alright. I love the ability on this card. What this ability does, it says that if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, you can put a damage counter on one damage counter on all of your opponent's Pokemon. So one damage counter, 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 one damage counter. So a damage counter on each of your opponent's Pokemon. Alright? So this could pair well with spreading damage decks. Something like Darmanitan, or my favorite, Ampharos V. Ampharos V. Alright? This is my favorite. Alright? This card can spread. Alright? Alright? Its first attack, does 50 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Really won't use that. Confusion's not really that good in the game. Alright. Damage Spark. Lightning colors. 120 damage. Alright. This attack does 30 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that already has damage counters on it. So what you do is you get this active first, spread a damage counter to everybody. Alright. Then you use switch this out. This thing has 1 retreat cost. Alright. So you could U-turn board it. Alright. Or air balloon it. Alright. Switch this out. Switch into Ampharos for the energies. And then go 120, 30 spread to everybody. Now here's the kicker. You've got the telescopic sight. You attach this to Ampharos. Now you're spreading 60 damage. 60 damage to the Pokemon V's and the GX's. Alright? The V's and the GX's. This is important because you're hitting the Denes and you're hitting Crobats. You're hitting Zacian V's. You're hitting any of those. You're hitting basically a lot of Pokemon in the format with this. 60 damage spread to the bench. Okay? Then, after that, you take something like Alolan Sand Slash GX. Alright? Alolan Sand Slash GX. With the GX attack that says it does 100 damage to all the Pokemon that has damage counters on them. So you've already spread 60 damage to everybody. 60 damage, and then but that's 70 because of the orbital. So you're going 170. Basically, you're going 100 to everybody. Now everybody on the bench has 170 on them. Okay? You take maybe like a Zigzagoon Ping or something, and you knock out the Crobat. Now their whole bench is basically they're softened up for this to maybe do some damage, or maybe even this could do some damage. All right, let's go back to Orbital Vmax. All right, I did not talk about this second attack. All right, this second attack is called Max Wave, 50 damage. This attack does 50 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So if they have a lot of energies on their Pokemon, this could hit for possibly 200 damage. If they have 3 energies, this could hit for 200 damage. So, I mean, not too shabby. Hitting for maybe 200 damage. You spread with this. You spread with this. Telescopic Sight. Sandslash GX. GX attack. Spread everywhere. Soften them up. Knocking things out. I think we have a solid deck choice here. Look out for a deck profile coming soon on this archetype. Another card that I like in the set is Aegis V. Alright? Aegis V. We are scrolling Poke Beach. Alright, let's see where we got here. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Okay, Aegis V. Alright, first attack, slash 50. We're not worried about that, it's just 50 damage. Alright, second attack, alright, Sonic Edge. Alright, 130 damage. Alright, you ignore all the effects on your opponent's active Pokemon when doing this damage. So something like Decidueye's ability that says V's and GX's can attack, this attack ignores that, which allows him to attack. So now you're doing 130. If you put this in an ADP deck, Alt Creation, buff this up by 30 damage. Now you're doing 160. Now you're knocking out Decidueye. 160, you boss's orders will up a Dedenne. Well, actually, I don't think this can knock out a Dedenne GX. I think Dedenne has resistance. That's interesting. Okay. Well, 160. You're doing 160, which isn't terrible. Okay. So this gets you past, those pesky abilities or effects on Pokemon that deny you to attack. Things like Altaria, the Altaria from what is it, Champion's Path? The Altaria from Champion's Path that says V's and GX's can attack. This bypasses that. Okay, so this in a metal deck is very, very, very good. Luke Metal Zacian decks love this card. All right. You've got the new Metal Special Energy. Okay. What this does is that if it's attached to a metal Pokemon, they now have no weakness. Which is busted. No weakness. Okay? So that is big. Centiskorch decks cannot touch fire Pokemon ever again with this card. Luke Metalization becomes a good tier deck because of this. It just says you have no weakness. Fire Pokemon can't touch it. Unless you find a way to remove this energy, fire Pokemon can't touch it. Okay? So, very good. One of my favorite metal cards from the set, probably the best metal card that I like, that I think has potential, is Fortress. That's right, Fortress. See if I can find it on here, the Fortress. Here it is. All right. This Fortress is amazing. I love cards like this. Oh my gosh, I am so hyped for this card. I just want to have fun with this card. All right. Its first attack does takedown, 120 damage. It does 30 damage to himself. Bump that. We're not worried about that attack. The attack we're going to do is Tie Bomber. Metal, metal, colorless, colorless. Both active Pokemon are knocked out. Both active Pokemon are knocked out. Do you hear me? So you sit here and you go Metal Saucer. You play with Metal Saucers. You can play Turbo Patches to power up, Energy Switch. You could go Twin Energy. Okay. Triple Acceleration if you want to. I don't know. But, you've got ways to power this up. And then you go Tie Bomber. You sit there, both of these guys get knocked out. This gets knocked out, and your opponent gets knocked out. So, they take one prize. Guess what? You knock out a tag team, you take 3 prizes. You knock out a Vmax, like Pikachu Vmax, you take 3. Okay? Instantly take 3 prizes. They just get knocked out. It doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what your opponent's trying to prevent anything, they just get knocked out. Take 2 prizes, take 3 prizes on the Vmax. Easily. Oh my gosh, I can't stress how good this card can be. Oh my gosh, I love this card. You can play the Vmax if you want to. It's decent, and you don't want to though. I don't even really want to talk about it because we're not the Vmax for what's this, Aegislash? Yeah, but you can, but the regular Aegislash V is just better. Let's see, you got the Water Splash Energy. Honestly, I don't even think the Water Splash Energy is that good, but we could talk about it. Prevent all effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon down to the water Pokemon this card has attached to. Like effects of attacks, like maybe paralyzation. I don't know. I just don't think this is good. Like you could play it in water decks, but I don't feel you need it. Speaking of water decks, you've got the Nessa. All right, Nessa is I think Nessa is really, really good. Alright, choose up to 4 combination of water Pokemon and water energy from your discard pile and put them into your hand. So this is very good. This is very good with Arrokuda. Arrokuda, aka Barracuda. Alright, the Arrokuda deck. And the, what is that card called? I cannot believe I can't remember what that card's name is. Hold on. We got the Arrokuda, we got the Nessa. Alright, let's see. Yeah, Arrokuda. Oh, Cramorant. Alright, the Cramorant. The water Cramorant. This Cramorant says discard as many Arrokuda from your bench as possible. for each one that you discard, it does 60 damage. 60 damage times the amount you discard. So if you discard all 4, 6, 12, 18, 24, you're doing 240 damage if you discard all 4. Okay? Discard all 4, you're doing 240 damage. Alright? And if you play Leon during that turn, you do 270, but I don't even think you would do that. You know, but 240 is not bad. It's not a little bad deck. 240 damage. Alright, right there. And then you play next turn you play Nessa. Get your Aracudas back. Place them back on the bench. Do 240 again. Okay? You know, so I like that. I like that. It's a very little cheeky deck. Alright? Nessa's just good in general for water decks. Alright? You got Snorlax. Alright? Let's see if I can find those colorless Pokemon. Colorless Pokemon. Alright, Snorlax. Let's see, where are you, Snorlax? Here we go. Okay, fatten up. Line time for Thanksgiving, fatten up. Alright? Once during your turn, this Pokemon is your active Pokemon. You may draw cards till you have 7 cards in your hand. If you use this ability, your turn ends. So this is basically what do you call this? Poke Beach. Tropical Beach. Yeah, this is called Tropical Beach. Yep, Tropical Beach. All right. Yep, so this is like Tropical Beach and a Pokemon. All right. So, I mean, some people will play this. You know, you're going first. Your first turn, you can't play a supporter. You used all your little ball search during the turn. And then you're like, okay, now I'm just going to draw until I have 7 cards. Setup. All right. The downsides to cards like this and Talonflame is Marnie. Let's say you do this or you do this. Your next turn, your opponent can just go Marnie and Marnie your entire hand back into your deck. And now you're down to 4 cards. Or they sit there, and if they play something like this, you know, play this, knock out 2 of these, go like reset stamp or whatever, and stamp you. But, I mean, other than that, I think these two are great. Great setup Pokemon with the ability. You're only using it for the ability. You're not attacking with this thing. So, you know. Another card I like in the set is this Jirachi Amazing Rare. Alright? The Jirachi Amazing Rare. Here we go. Found it. Alright. The ability. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them into your hand, and return the other one on top of your deck. So look at 2 cards, put one in your hand, and put the other one back on top of your deck. So you can manipulate the top card of your deck with the Rangaroo. A Rangaroo again. That Rangaroo is busted. Manipulate the top card of your deck. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. You know, so you get to look at one card that you put up there, and then another card that basically you just get to see. And you can leave one on top and take the other one. So this could get you a free card. You know, I think it's decent. It's somewhat decent. You know, you can see some play. This card is also expensive like the Charizard because it is an amazing rare because of how rare it is, the foil, the art on the card. It's an amazing rare. It's expensive. Okay. Let's see. I think I've talked about the memory capsule a little bit. Let's see. Hero's Bath. All right. Yep. Hero's Bath or Sir Chester Bath. All right. Each basic Pokemon in play takes 20 less damage from their opponent's attacks. So any basic deck. So this helps out ADPZ more. All right. The whole deck is basic. Pikarom, the whole deck is basic. So now it's 20 less damage. So whatever you do, 20 less damage. Pikarom, ADPZ, basic decks, they win. All right. So this just gives those decks more of a buff. I think this is a very good stadium you could play in basic decks. Last card but not least, one of the cards that I like. I think people have also written this card off like they've written off Big Pika. Is Manectric. All right, I like Manectric. You sit there, you evolve it, and you draw 3 cards. The ability. You evolve it, you draw 3 cards. All right, and what you do is you set up two Electrites. Set up 2 Electrites, and then you go evolve one on your next turn. Evolve one, draw 3 cards. Scoop up next. Scoop this up. Then evolve the other one, draw 3 more cards. Okay? So now you have 6 extra cards in your hand. The reason why I say this may be good is because if you have a turn where you're playing something like Leon and you're not drawing a card, you're not drawing cards for your turn because you're playing this. So you're not using a draw card. You're not using Sycamore or Marnie. You know what I'm saying? When you're not using Sycamore or Marnie, but you're playing something like this, or a supporter like this, you sit there, you play this. Okay, now you've got draw for the turn. Okay, boom, draw 3 cards. Scoop up net, draw 3 more cards. You know what I'm saying? You get other pieces that you need. Then you play like Leon or something. Now you got your draw, and then you play your other supporter. It gives you leeway to play stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Without that, it's just like you sit there, play things like Leon. Now you don't have draw for the turn. Now you may be missing pieces. So even before you play this, you're like, okay, do I want to play this card? If I play this, I don't have this, or I'm going to be stuck. Or maybe I just sacrifice not having other stuff, and maybe playing this, and maybe hopefully winning off of this card, and hopefully your opponent won't have anything after you play this. So that's where I like this. That's where I think this could come in. This will help you draw a little bit more, while playing things like this or other supporter cards that you may be wanting to play. But that's my take on most of the Vivid Voltage cards from this set. Honestly, to recap, I love this card. I think this card is busted. Unlike every other set review that I've seen that have written off this card, I think this card is going to be great. So, but other than that, I love this set. This has been a pretty long video, so I'm going to end it here. If you like what you see, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. All right. hit that thumbnail. All right. And as always, make sure you take care of yourself and each other. Thank you.